Welcome back, everyone, here to Bronx Talks today. Got a very special video for you guys. We are going to be talking about the Yankees and why we need to get excited, why we are excited for the 2023 season. I'm sure all of us are excited, all ready to go, anticipating opening day on Thursday. I know I'm super excited. Christian, how are you feeling about opening day?
You just cut out for a second. I'm pretty sure you asked me how excited I am though, and the answer is very. The Anthony Volpe news was huge. It was absolutely huge. That was one of the biggest questions throughout spring. Well, what's going to happen? Who's going to be playing shortstop? And that's kind of a big deal. I know, like in past years, the Yankees have kind of let it go and it's gone under the radar, but playing shortstop for the New York Yankees is like a big deal. And now
Mm,
that we have this Derek Jeter 2.0 starting on shortstop on opening day from Jersey, it's really cool. So the fact that news broke, that was absolutely huge. I'll be honest.
yeah, that was absolutely awesome. I think it was
We
great.
can't hear you, Ryan.
Oh my gosh. All right, hold on.
While Ryan tries to figure that out, I'll keep talking. So Anthony Volpe gets called up. That is absolutely awesome, and we're really excited. That's gonna be super fun on opening day. But look, there is uh, there is 25 other guys on the team, and we're at sort of an interesting spot right now because the Yankees. It wasn't just a shortstop battle. There was also a battle for left field, and that was between three guys: Estevan Florial, uh, Rafael Ortega, and Willie Calhoun. And the Yankees optioned Willie Calhoun to the minors. So then it was just Estevan Florial and Rafael Ortega. And they said that both of them were going to be traveling to New York. But then Rafael Ortega requested to be released, and the Yankees went ahead and did that. So now the Yankees are sort of at an interesting spot because they just have Estevan Florial as their fourth outfielder. And look, I'm not saying Estevan Florial can't do that, but he hasn't done it in the past, and I don't think that's what the Yankees were looking to go into the season with. So
Can
yeah,
you hear me now?
yeah, we're good. I was just talking about the left field.
Okay, finally. There's always an issue every time. I don't. All right. Finally, we're good. But now that I'm back, I'm talking about left field. Yeah, left field's really interesting because I heard you talking about it. It looked like it was going to be Florial or Ortega. One of them was going to make the team, and I guess Ortega, he's on the team pretty much in spring training. He probably got a vibe that he didn't think he was going to make the team, so he was probably like, "There's no point of me traveling to New York, and I'm not going to make it." Who knows? I honestly have no idea. Maybe he just thought he could get a better situation somewhere else, and he asked for a release. He had an opt out in his contract, and the Yankees granted his release. With now Calhoun being in AAA and Ortega's a free agent, Florial looks like he's going to be the fourth outfielder because he's kind of the only one left, um, which is going to be interesting. So he's traveling to New York. We'll find out soon if he makes the roster or not. I heard some people saying at first it looked like he was. So we'll see what happens. He's out of Estevian Florial is out of options. So if the Yankees send him down and he doesn't make the team, anyone can pick him up with his skill set. That's likely gonna happen. Um, but he's out of options. But maybe he could play a role with the Yankees. He has great defense. Could be a great defender for the Yankees out there in the outfield and left field, right field, center field, wherever you need him. And he could be a pitch runner off the bench late in a game. He could steal you second base with ease, steal you third. So yeah, I think he definitely could have a role on the Yankees. I was just thinking the Yankees would prefer more of like an Ortega or Calhoun because they can do more with the bat. What do you think, Christian?
Yeah, I think Ortega. Well, I don't know if I want to say that. I think Ortega had more of an upside, right? I don't know. I know Willie Calhoun was once like a pretty high prospect, but I think he more would have been just like sort of like a slap hitter playing some solid defense. I think Ortega actually had potential to like hit in Yankee Stadium.
Mm.
Um, so I was probably leaning towards Ortega making the roster. It's a little disappointing because I was hoping for either Ortega or Calhoun. I want to see one of them because that just means that Aaron Hicks is going to get some more playing time, and I'm happy that Oswaldo Cabrera is then hopefully going to get a real shot at left. But it just really it puts the Yankees in just a weird situation. Like, is
Yeah,
IKF going to be their fourth outfielder?
who knows? Honestly, maybe, but I don't know. It was just that was really weird. I was definitely leaning towards more a Calhoun, and then Ortega be my second choice. But I think Ortega and Calhoun would better fit the that position. But it looks like it's going to be Florial. Um, they were talking about this the other day. Aaron Boone he was talking to Michael Kay during the game on the broadcast, and the interesting thing about this battle was really close, and it is really close because each player gives the Yankees a different thing. It gives the Yankees a different value. Calhoun, he looked like a really good hitter. He had a really good spring, and he could be a nice bench bat, could start, and he could be a really good hitter. Ortega, the same thing, except he can play all three positions, and it looked like his bat was really well suited for Yankee Stadium. And Florial, not so much with the bat, although he's probably the best defender out of the three, and he's the fastest out of the three. So he could definitely come in for that, defense late in a game, or could come off the bench to steal a base. So, it's not the end of the world. I still think if Florial's on this team, he still has a lot of value on the bench. And the Yankees have liked guys in prior years. They've liked to carry pitch runners on their team, Tim LeCastro, Tyler Wade, guys who can, come off the bench and steal you a base. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. We don't even know if Florial's going to make the team, but it certainly looks that way right now.
Yeah. Just to start the season, I'm sure all of you have heard the lineup a million times, but the Yankees projected bench to start the season, looking at Kyle Higashioka, IKF, Estevan Florial, assuming he makes the team, and then either Oswaldo Cabrera or Aaron Hicks, depending if they want to play Judge in center, and yeah, that'll be up to the Yankees. But I don't know. I feel pretty good about that, at least walking into the season, because look, you always have the trade deadline to go out and get a
Absolutely.
left fielder. Ian Happ's definitely going to be on the market this year. So if the Yankees, if it's really a problem, go out and get him, and your lineup's instantly better.
Absolutely. I'm really excited about the lineup, Christian. I got to be honest with you, especially when we get Bader back. I really like the lineup right now. I really do. I think the Yankees got a really good lineup. DJ LeMahieu had a great spring. It looks like he's healthy. Looks like he's doing great. A healthy DJ LeMahieu would be huge. I'm really excited about the line. We got Volpe, got some young blood in that lineup. We got a real base stealing threat in our lineup. I'm really excited about it, Christian. What do you think?
No, I like when we did our lineup preview video like 2 weeks ago, and I was looking at the best possible lineup, and I was getting excited because they had Volpe and it had Bader healthy. That got me excited, but just the regular opening day lineup didn't do much for me. Pretty similar to last year. But I'll tell you, I'm serious. Calling up Volpe, and now you have the bottom of the order, that 7, 8, 9, which was going to be really weak. Now it's like you're almost excited. Volpe can flip that to the top, and you have the combination of Volpe getting on. DJ is going to have a nice opposite field single. It's
And
like
then the
that
big boy.
changes. It changes so much, and I'm so happy that the Yankees made the right decision at shortstop because I didn't really know. Like, I wasn't just like a blinded Yankee fan that was saying Volpe has to be on the team. I was looking at it from the other side. What are you going to do with Peraza? It's not fair to totally just screw him over because Anthony Volpe is a stud. Like, he's earned this too. But I mean, I guess the only thing I would have done differently was I would have given Peraz more of a shot last year. So that way
Yeah.
he could have either earned the job or spent more, almost like justified time in the minors. Because now it almost feels like, he played really well in the majors. Why is he back to AAA? But
I mean,
look, I'm
yeah.
happy with what the Yankees did. Uh, they played the guy who had a good spring. So
They played the guy who not only had a good spring, he had a great spring, and they played the guy who won the competition. I mean, give the Yankees credit. They said it was a competition, and it was. And Anthony Volpe worked his ass off, and he won that position. So you got to give the Yankees credit. Peraza is certainly interesting, but we're gonna have to see what happens. I think we'll probably see him again. Injuries do happen, but the Yankees also might end up trading him. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, Peraza is certainly interesting. You got to feel for the kid because he really, really played well last year, and he's a notorious slow starter. He starts off slow at every level and at the beginning of the season, so that doesn't really work out in spring training. And he didn't have a great spring, and Volpe just had an absolutely phenomenal spring. So I guess it does stink there for Peraza, but I mean, Christian, every single Yankee fan is beyond excited. They're ecstatic about Anthony Volpe. I mean, that applause that he's going to get on opening day when they call out his name. I mean, it's just going to be awesome. And this is what we've been asking for the last few years. Get some youth, get some young blood in that lineup, get some energy. And it seems like a lot of the current Yankees veterans, they all love this kid, and I think it's going to be awesome to see that interaction. And Anthony Volpe, I think he's ready, and it's just going to be awesome to see him play in Yankee pinstripes in the Bronx.
it's going to be really special. I really can't wait for it. That first hit, it's going to be awesome. And I'm really excited for the whole thing. And, back to Peraza, again, I just felt bad doing it to him. But then, look, I looked at his spring training numbers. They were bad. The OPS is in the 600s. And that doesn't mean anything for him going forward, right? He's still going to be a great player. But, look, he's also young. He also has to earn it.
Yeah.
And he didn't have a good spring. And now he's going to start in AAA. And the first injury that happens, he's going to come right up and he's going to get a shot. So I hope the Yankees don't screw him over, but I really think he's going to get a fair shot. And, I said this before spring training. One of my predictions is I think Anthony Volpe and Peraza are going to be in a postseason lineup together.
Yeah, absolutely, Christian. And let's keep in mind what Hal Steinbrenner said. I think like a week ago, he says that that he believes that the future up the middle for the New York Yankees is Anthony Volpe and Oswald Peraza. That's what he believes. Whether that's true or not, whether the Yankees end up moving Peraza, it's another story. But that is what Hal Steinbrenner said, and so he believes that the future up the middle is Volpe and Peraza. So it's going to be very interesting. Going to be very interesting to see.
Yeah, and I mean, ultimately, the biggest thing that we saw with this move, the Yankees did what I wanted them to do: play the players who deserve it. Play the best players. Like, that's how you win a World Series. Don't wait until September to call up someone who's tearing it up in the minors. Play the best players, and I hope they do the same with everyday guys. If Josh Donaldson is struggling, don't play him. If Gleyber Torres is struggling in one of his streaks that he has, don't play him. Play the guys who are playing well. I really think, I mean, that's like how a baseball team should be run. I don't get why the Yankees, I get you have to play, you're not going to sit Torres on the bench for 30 games straight. But look, if he's struggling, have Peraza come up and get some reps. Like,
I think I think that really stemmed from the whole IKF thing last year. And then the Yankees called up Peraza. It was just, that whole thing last year was a mess. But we got a new season. We got a clean slate, and we are rolling with the whiz kid, Anthony Volpe, AV77. And we are just beyond excited for that. So I'm hoping the Yankees do the right thing. They've done the right thing so far. I'm super excited about this lineup. I am super excited about watching Anthony Volpe on opening day. So that's that. And it's just going to be super, super exciting to see. Christian, let's talk about the final reliever on the Yankees team. We don't know who that's going to be. First off, yesterday, once again on the broadcast, Michael Kay was talking to Aaron Boone, and he was saying how basically Michael Kay was saying, and many people believe that the final battle for the final relief pitcher spot, final reliever, was between Ian Hamilton and Greg Weiser. That one of them was going to make the team. They both didn't make the team. They're both in AAA, so who's going to fill that role, Christian? It really seems to me right now that the Yankees are going to make a trade for a reliever, for someone back end of that bullpen. And who knows, maybe the Yankees even bring in a fourth outfielder. I mean, Florial didn't make the team yet, so maybe the Yankees go out and trade for a fourth outfielder. I definitely think a trade is on the horizon. And I think right now, like, I'm kind of leaning 60-40, but I have no idea. It seems like a trade has to be made. What do you think, Christian?
I could. I don't know. I mean, when was the Jose Trevino trade last year? How close was that?
I would say that was like 4 or 5 days before opening day.
For to do it, I mean, unrealistic. Something happens tonight. For it to happen the day before opening day, I don't really see it. I'm sure the Yankees just have something up their sleeve. It is weird. I'll admit that it is really weird for Boone to say one of them's going to make it, and then neither do.
Boone didn't say one of them was going to make the team, but it was kind of like shaping up that it was going to be between like one of them. You know what I mean? Same way with the Florial, Calhoun, Ortega.
All
he didn't
right.
say one of them.
I thought he came out and said it. So, I mean, even then, look, that's just fan speculating. I'm sure Brian Cashman has someone. There's an internal guy. It's still weird. But, look, the Yankees bullpen is going to be good.
Yeah.
I think it was
Oh, yeah.
MLB had like an Instagram post today that was ranking the bullpens. Yankees at 10. Look,
I disagree. I disagree.
I don't care about any rankings. I feel like all of them are bad. Literally every single list about anything. So I'm not going to get into that. But all I'm saying is don't sleep on the Yankees bullpen and their rotation. But
Christian.
Look, they have some guys injured, right?
Yeah. I mean, they got Canley's injured. Trevino's injured. But, Christian, this bullpen's really good. It's really deep. And it's really freaking good. I mean, we did the Yankees pitching staff preview, and I was reading off the names of relievers, and I was like, wow. Especially some of the guys that are going to take the next step, like Ron Marinaccio. He had a phenomenal rookie year. He's probably going to get better. He's going to get better. He's going to have a better year. And then you got guys like Jonathan Lasaiga, who struggled the first half last year. So, but then he straightened it out. So it looks like we could have, like, once again, really, really good Jonathan Lasaiga in that bullpen. Clay Holmes, Michael King, probably the best reliever in the bullpen, and he's one of the best relievers in the league. I mean, Christian, this bullpen goes on and on. Wandy Peralta. I mean, there's so many good relievers in this bullpen.
Look, I feel really, really good about it. And, I mean, we'll transition to the starting pitching. It's just as good. Look, it's not going to be at its top form to start the season because we have Carlos Rodon and Luis Severino and Frankie Montas, but he's probably going to be out for the season. They're all injured. Look, once we get this healthy, it's going to be really, really good. And I am so, so excited for that, Ryan. And Look, to start the season, I don't know. I'm hoping we can get by. Well, if Johnny Brito is the 5, or I guess the 3, right?
To start, but he'll be
He is the 5 in the rotation, but he might be starting on the 3rd day.
It looks
we'll see how it is to start the season. But I'm telling you, once we get the rotation healthy, just like the bullpen. Once we get those three guys back, it's gonna be really good. And I,
Mm.
I think, look, the Yankees lineup probably gonna be similar to last year. There's gonna be ups, there's gonna be downs. I really think it's ultimately gonna be the pitching that just like it's gonna carry us for some stretches. It really always is. The Yankees
It
do
did. It
pitching
did. It
very
did
well.
last year when the lineup was struggling. To your point, yeah, that's kind of the last few years how the lineup has gone. But I mean, this rotation is one of the best in the league. This pitching staff is one of the best, if not the best in the league, Christian. And I mean, yeah, you're spot on. I mean, it's gonna be elite. Imagine going into a playoff series, you got to face Garrett Cole, Carlos Rodon, and Nestor Cortez. I mean, that's like three aces. Like on other teams, those guys are all number ones. Okay,
And
and then you
yeah,
got
and
like
Sevy. I mean,
and
he
Sevy.
can.
Yeah, Sevy is your four. Like it's it's just it's phenomenal. The rotation is phenomenal, and then you follow it up with their bullpen. They got a really good bullpen, so I really like it. The key is got to stay healthy. You got to stay healthy, and that's always gonna what it comes down to. As far as how the rotation is going into the season, I'll admit, Chris, I'm a little skeptical. I don't know what I'm going to get from Herman and Schmidt. They're both good pitchers in my mind, but I don't know like how reliable they are. We're going to find out. And it's a huge opportunity for a guy like Clark Schmidt, who's going to be the second pitcher to start the season. He's going to get the start on Saturday. I will be at that game. Christian might be with me as well. But Clark Schmidt, big opportunity for him. So I think he really wants to shine. So we're gonna find out, and then Brito is the 5. Now, last week, Christian, when we heard the news about Sevy, I was like, all right, Yankees got to get another starter, and they might still, who knows? But after then, the next day, Brito goes out and throws 5.5 and a third perfect innings, and I watched that game. Christian, Brito looked unhittable, like no one could
Really.
touch him.
I saw
No
it
one
was only like 3 strikeouts or something.
Yeah,
Uh,
but his sinker is like it's a big league sinker. They couldn't touch him at all. So that definitely made me feel a lot better about things and kind of made me get excited to see Brito, because if Brito goes out there and performs really well, he could find his way on the team long term.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I get excited for like young pitchers to make their debut, and that's always fun. Like during the season where it's not like you have to pitch well. Because the problem with Johnny Brito starting as the 5, what happens if he's bad? Who do we go to? Seriously.
That's my biggest
And that's
concern.
why Yankees need to get some pitching depth. Whether you trade
Well,
for someone,
that's my biggest concern, and that. Oh my gosh, sorry. That was the biggest reason why I was like, all right, the Yankees should go out and trade for another starter, Christian, because if someone else gets hurt, who's the next guy? Devi Garcia, and they want to turn him into a reliever. Who's the next guy? Yandris Gomez? Like after Brito, and Brito's still like like he was kind of like the last leg. After Brito, there's like no one else. So
yeah, I mean they traded 2 of their guys, Sears and Waldachuk,
and
in the
Medina.
Montas deal. He was he in the Montas deal too?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not going to age well, and Montas is probably out for the year. So forget about it. But they have to get pitching depth. That's bottom line. The one thing that kind of concerns me is, if the rotation doesn't start off great, and Clark Schmidt's and Herman and Brito are having a tough time adjusting. If the Yankees get off to a slow start in April, like that is bad because the Yankees in the past, they usually have like a lackadaisical August, or at least at some point in the summer. Like last year, what saved the Yankees was a hot April and May. The first half,
they
really.
weren't they were like above average in April. They started their first like 14 games, they were like 500, and then they really May and June they were the best team in the league. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, even for the first 2 months, the Yankees have to get off to a somewhat good start because also it really saved the Yankees because then they were able to rest guys and and that's big time when it comes
Yeah.
to planning for the
Well,
postseason.
yeah, they got to get off to. I mean, they want to get off to a good start. I mean, as long as you don't play awful, as long as you don't get off to like a bad start, you should be okay. The thing that we need to avoid is we can't have a month where we want to suck. That needs to be that can't happen anymore because unless the Yankees get off to a historical start again, which is unlikely, these historical starts are historical for a reason. The Blue Jays are a good team. They're a good team, and they're going to be on the Yankees' tail. They're going to be chasing the Yankees. So are the Tampa Bay Rays. It's a really competitive division. You can't have a month where you don't win games. That can't happen because we saw last year, Christian, Yankees had a 15.5 game lead. I think it was end July.
Yep.
That got to 4.5 by the beginning of September. And that was just because their August was absolutely awful. You can't do that again because if the it's unlikely the Yankees are going to get a 15.5 game lead at the end of July, right? So if that's like 5 games, 5 games, whatnot, you have a month, that's probably the division. So they really, really need to avoid that happening again.
Yeah, there
Just
is something
be
to be said
consistent.
for not jumping out to a big lead. I mean, maybe the Yankees, when you have a 15 game lead, and your manager is resting guys, and you're not really going 100% for every game. You're not overdoing it with starters, with bullpen guys. I gotta imagine that gets in the players' heads. If the coaching is almost not treating it like it's a big game. So I mean, obviously you want to get off to a good start.
Obviously, best case scenario, you want a 15. Yeah, but that's a good point, Christian.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll tell you that a podcast that I really respect and I listen to all the time had the Yankees finishing 3rd in the AL East.
Who?
At the Just Baseball.
3rd.
Yeah, and the guy's a Yankee fan too. It's a really good podcast, but it kind of like shook me a little bit because I'm already starting to think about the playoffs, and it was like, yeah, we still got to win games. I know we're the Yankees, and that's kind of what they do, but they still have to win games just because Volpe's on the team and just because we have a captain and Aaron Judge is back. Still got to win games. So, and people are skeptical about the Yankees offense because it is like we've seen it before in the past 2 years. Those stretches where they go through, they didn't improve the offense. If anything, it got worse. You don't have Benintendi anymore.
Yeah, but also if you have a healthy DJ LeMahieu, if we get the DJ LeMahieu we've seen in spring training, the 400 batting average DJ LeMahieu.
I know, but I would say there's a lot of ifs. Like, first off, DJ LeMahieu is how old? Like 34?
Something like it doesn't matter if he's healthy. He'll be.
If he's healthy, Aaron Judge is also probably not going to hit 62 home runs again. I'm just saying, assuming we have the same lineup returning, you have Anthony Volpe. That's a difference. That's speed. That helps, but it is similar to last year, and there were some bad stretches last year. However, overall, I mean, the Yankees' offense wasn't bad.
Yeah, no, I mean it's still a good lineup. I mean they have
stretches where that.
I think they led MLB in I don't know what it was. They had a ton of games where they would just put up like crooked numbers. So they had a lot of games where the offense would just go off, which was good because in 2021, the offense, like every game was a close game. They wouldn't score. The offense last year would score, like they would score a lot of runs, but then they would go on stretches where they wouldn't hit. So like it's kind of like that's the thing. Their offense seems to be inconsistent, but at the end of the day, it's not a bad offense. It's above average offense, good offense. But this is why they probably brought in some pitching help. You just got to solidify the team. Every team is going to go through good patches and rough patches, right? But I think the pitching could really balance that out and pick the offense up when it's struggling.
Yeah. We didn't really have this on our topic list, but I do have a question for you.
All right.
How is this year different from the last 5?
The last 5?
Sure. The last 2, if you want, but
I think what's different about this year is definitely the energy. I think the Yankees, adding Anthony Volpe to the opening day roster, I was going to say call him up, which technically they did, but bringing Anthony Volpe aboard, putting him on the opening day roster, I think that's not only awesome for the fan base, gets the fan base excited, I think it gets the players in that clubhouse excited because a lot of them were really pulling for Anthony Volpe. So you got that, and then you got Aaron Judge with the official captaincy. So I think that's a big thing to judge, to go out there and win a World Series like it has been. So I think that's really important to him. I think culture is definitely a big thing. I think they have one of the best rotations they've had in years. I mean, we're talking a really long time. So they got that, and the rotation was still really good last year, but they have that. So culture, one of the best rotations they've had in years. And I would say, though, that right now is what is different than last year, previous years.
For me, got to see it to believe it. I got to see how it plays out, and I'm happy that Cashman and I will say one thing: Hal Steinbrenner has completely changed his reputation in the past 6 months. Like if he walks out for some ceremony or something, he's going to be getting cheers.
I don't know.
At least to begin the season, if they're playing well,
Christian.
People think of him as the man who got Aaron Judge.
No, you're right. You're right. My stance is I'm a little unsure how the fans would react. I'm unsure. I wouldn't be surprised if they go out there and they give him a ton of cheers. I mean, this guy brought in Carlos Rodon. He closed the deal on Aaron Judge. Got Anthony Volpe on the roster. That was probably more of an organizational thing, but I'm sure Hal Steinbrenner was pulling for him behind the scenes. I mean, who wasn't? Who wasn't rooting for Volpe to be on the roster? And so yeah, you got that. But then there's also a lot of stuff, in the past. There's also they're paying a lot of money, like Aaron Hicks. Not a lot of money, but I mean, $10 million a season, and the guy looks like he can't play.
But I mean, that's cash, man. I think almost. I don't.
No, that is.
Stepped
but
up this year and said, "I'm going to make some moves. Aaron Judge is coming back. I'll hand him some money, and I want Volpe on the team."
Yeah,
that's how I see it.
But
that's how I want to see it.
I think another thing. This also wasn't on our topic list, but now that I mentioned his name, let's talk about Aaron Hicks, Christian, real quick. I was thinking about this the other day. I heard NYY Recaps and Pete from NYY News TV talk about this on Designated Spitters. But Aaron Hicks is really on thin ice. They were talking about how if Aaron Hicks goes out there, gets off to a slow start, or this guy pops up in his first at-bat, I mean, he's just going to get destroyed. He's going to get destroyed. What do you see for Aaron Hicks? Do you think he's going to make it the whole season on the Yankees roster? Because you got guys like Bader coming back, and you assume the Yankees are going to upgrade there at the trade deadline. Do you see him on the roster the whole way?
No. I think it's finally the year they cut ties. Last year, I understood, they're going to give him another shot. Then he got injured. I think he was actually playing well before he got injured.
He got injured in the playoffs.
I know, but I think he was playing well in the playoffs. Maybe he wasn't. I don't know.
No, not in the play. Not he wasn't playing well in the playoffs.
Or maybe it was September.
Yeah, he did.
So there's that. This is, I think, the final straw for Aaron Hicks. Josh Donaldson, I see. Look, this is last year, and I actually see a lot of people being pretty optimistic about him.
I'm optimistic about him.
Yeah, there's some people on Twitter. For the year he had last year, there's a decent crowd. Aaron Hicks, it's tough to find someone who is happy.
He can't play left field. I mean, he dropped 3 balls in spring training. So, I kind of feel bad for him because if this If this guy like strikes out his first two at bats, he's done. He's gonna. I don't. He's done. He's gonna. So.
I mean that really sucks for him because going into a season knowing you're on that short of a leash with fans, that's really bad. But I mean, he put it on himself, and I mean, if anything, hopefully a little fan pressure persuades Cashman. And look, I'm hoping Aaron Hicks goes out and hits home run in his first at bat and goes from
absolutely.
there. But look, we got to be realistic. He hasn't done it since maybe 2019. So there's not a lot to be feeling good about. Josh Donaldson, you could talk me into a little bit more. I still don't. I know you're more optimistic.
What about his new stance? Donaldson's new stance. He's been hitting home runs like left and right.
Yeah, spring training. Kyle Higashioka, Tyler Wade, spring training beasts. And, I think
but
one of them's in the league right now.
Aaron Boone said it, and Cashman said it in the offseason. The Yankees, from what they're saying, Aaron Boone, he said it on the Talking Yanks podcast. He expects a big year out of Josh Donaldson. He expects Donaldson to have a good year.
I know. And that's fair. A lot of people, he's getting paid $20-something million. Like, he should be expected to have a big year. And I hope he's a good enough hitter that he's able to make an adjustment and at least be somewhat productive this year.
Well, we'll see how his new stance.
Maybe he really is just too old. That is the case. He's 37. That happens. That's why people don't play baseball till they're 50. There's a certain point, your eyesight starts to get worse. Your legs just start to break down. Well, I will say, he played probably the bat speed
defense. Is the thing.
The bat speed is the thing. Of his life. So
he was a great defender.
I don't know if it's like a breaking down problem. Maybe I don't know.
It's the bat speed. That's the problem. You just can't catch up to it anymore, and that's why he was guessing last year. But with his new adjustment, he's standing more upright. If that helps him, the power's still there. We saw it in spring training or not. Power's there. Power was there last year.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, but I'm optimistic for Josh Donaldson. I think Donaldson could definitely have a solid year for the Yanks. And he's a former MVP, and I know that was a while ago, but I'm excited about Donaldson. I think he's gonna have a good year. I think Donaldson kind of plays with that swagger, and he's gonna look to prove some people wrong. And I'm optimistic about Josh Donaldson. I am. Aaron Hicks, I'm actually surprised he got this far and made it to spring training, to be honest with you. I thought there was like zero chance when we closed off the season last year that we were going to even see him in spring training. Yet here he is, and he's on the opening day roster. But
I will say, one Aaron Hicks moment last year where I told myself, I'm never going to give this guy slack again. He could strike out the rest of his at-bat every time. I won't care.
That's what saved him, because otherwise he would have been gone last August.
Yeah, and that changed very, very quickly. I hope he has a good year, but who knows? And Donaldson, I saw too many at-bats last year to think him standing up more right is going to change something. But look, I hope he has a good year. Who knows? He's a big league hitter. He should be able to make adjustments.
Absolutely. Listen, final thing on Donaldson, I'm optimistic, and you're just kind of waiting to see what happens there. So we'll wrap this up in a couple minutes, but the bottom line is, it's going to be a really fun year. It's going to be a really fun year on the channel. Me and Chris are going to be posting weekly. So if you enjoy our content, subscribe, and it's going to just be a really awesome year for Yankees content. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, whatever, so we can keep you posted. But it's going to be a really fun year. There's so many storylines. Aaron Judge being captain, Anthony Volpe, going to be the starting shortstop on opening day. It's just awesome. And, there's a lot of storylines. It's going to be really, really fun. So, yeah, just sit back, relax, and enjoy this ride with us. It's going to be awesome. And, yeah, that's really all I got. Also, stay tuned, because there's probably going to be some Yankee final roster moves that happen tomorrow. Going to find out who the fourth outfielder is who's going to be the final reliever. A trade could even happen. So I do think a trade is very possible. So that's all I got, Christian. Any closing remarks you'd like to make?
Not really. I mean, I'm excited for the season. Well, our next video will probably be following opening day.
Yeah.
Maybe after the first game, doing a little reaction recap. And then yeah, we'll be back doing the same thing during the season. Our regular videos, our Instagram stuff, our Twitter stuff, our TikTok videos, all that.
Yeah. So
I'm ready.
yeah, let's do it, guys. And thank you for joining us. And Chase for 28 starts Thursday. So let's go win 28.